Have you ever found yourself staring at a blank page, an overflowing inbox, or a daunting task, feeling a strange force pulling you away from what you know you need to do? It is as if an invisible barrier stands between you and your goals. Does it sound familiar? We have all been there. It is not laziness, it is not a lack of willpower. It is something deeper, something rooted in the very way our minds work. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of procrastination and internal resistance. We are not just going to talk about what it is, we are going to explore why it happens and, most importantly, how you can overcome it. We will uncover the secrets of your own mind, revealing practical strategies that you can use to break free from these chains and start achieving your goals. But this is not just about quick fixes. We are on a journey to understand the inner workings of our brains, to transform our habits, and to build a more fulfilling life. Think of it as a roadmap to unlock your potential, to understand why you do the things you do, and to gain control over your actions. It will be enlightening, perhaps even a little uncomfortable, but definitely transformative. Are you ready to embark on this adventure with me? Let us begin. So what exactly is this invisible force that keeps us stuck? Procrastination. It is a word we often throw around, but what does it truly mean? It is more than just putting things off. It is a complex psychological phenomenon, a response deeply ingrained in our brains. At its core, procrastination is our brain's way of dealing with difficulty, discomfort, and, most importantly, the fear of failure. Imagine your brain as a complex computer system. When you are faced with a challenging task, your brain's natural response is to protect you from potential harm. This harm can be the emotional discomfort of struggling, the fear of not doing well, or even the fear of what success might bring. This brings us to the role of the ego. Now, your ego is not some separate entity living inside you. It is a part of your identity, the part that wants to be seen in a positive light both by yourself and others. Your ego loves comfort, security, and above all, a good self-image. When you face a task that could potentially challenge that image, your ego steps in with a powerful defense mechanism: avoidance. Think about it. If you do not try, you cannot fail, right? This is your ego's twisted logic. It is like a well-meaning but misguided friend who, in trying to protect you from hurt, keeps you from growing. But there is more to it. Our brains are also wired with intricate mechanisms of resistance. These are the patterns of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that arise when we encounter something difficult or unpleasant. You might recognize them as excuses, self-doubt, anxiety, or a sudden urge to clean your entire house instead of working on that important project. These resistance mechanisms are incredibly powerful. They are designed to pull you back to your comfort zone, away from anything that feels threatening to your ego or your sense of stability. Let us dive deeper into how these mechanisms work. Imagine your brain as having two parts: the child and the adult. The child part is impulsive, seeking instant gratification and avoiding anything uncomfortable. It is like a spoiled kid throwing a tantrum when faced with a task it does not want to do. The adult part, on the other hand, is rational, planning for the long term and understanding the importance of delayed gratification. But here is the catch: the child often speaks louder and throws bigger tantrums. So when you are facing a difficult task, the child starts screaming, "This is hard, this is boring, let us do something fun instead." And without the right tools, the adult part of your brain struggles to regain control. But do not worry, this is not a hopeless situation. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step towards overcoming them. Now we are going to explore practical strategies to break free from the grip of procrastination and internal resistance. These are not just superficial tips. They are tools based on the very psychology we have been discussing. One of the most effective strategies is what we call baby steps. It is deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. The idea is to break down a daunting task into the smallest possible steps. Instead of thinking, "I need to write a 10-page report," you think, "I need to write one sentence." It sounds almost too easy, doesn't it? But that is the magic of it. By making the first step so small, you disarm the child part of your brain. It is like saying, "Hey, there is nothing to be scared of here. It is just one sentence." Once you take that first baby step, the next one becomes easier, and the one after that, and soon you are in motion. This is the power of momentum, which we will explore further in a bit. Another powerful technique is the 2-minute rule. This one is a game changer for those tasks that seem to loom large and menacing. The rule is simple. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to do it now. Do not put it off. Do not add it to your to-do list. Just do it. This could be anything from answering an email to washing a dish to putting your clothes away. The beauty of the 2-minute rule is that it prevents those small tasks from piling up and becoming a source of stress and procrastination. It also helps you build a habit of taking action, which is crucial for overcoming resistance. Now, let us talk about rewards. Our brains are wired to respond to rewards. It is how we learn and form habits. But here is the problem. The rewards of long-term goals, like finishing a project or getting in shape, are often far off in the future. The child part of your brain wants instant gratification, not something that will come weeks or months from now. So, what do? We create immediate rewards. The key is to tie a small, immediate reward to the completion of a difficult task. It could be anything you enjoy. A piece of chocolate, a few minutes of your favorite TV show, or a short walk in nature. The important thing is that the reward is immediate and directly linked to the action you want to reinforce. This way, you are essentially reprogramming your brain's reward system. You are teaching the child part of your brain that there is pleasure to be found in taking action, even on difficult tasks. Another crucial aspect is shifting your focus from the outcome to the process. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, aren't we supposed to focus on our goals? Yes, but here is the thing. When you are overly focused on the outcome, especially a distant one, it can trigger anxiety and resistance. You start worrying about whether you will achieve it, what will happen if you fail, and so on. This is where the child part of your brain starts throwing a fit. Instead, try shifting your focus to the process, to the actions you are taking each day. It is about appreciating the journey, the small steps you are taking, the effort you are putting in. When you focus on the process, you are in control. You are not at the mercy of some future, uncertain outcome. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating and motivating. Let us talk about a concept that might seem a little abstract at first, but it is a game changer: aligning your identity with your actions. What does that even mean? Well, it is about seeing yourself as the kind of person who does the things you want to achieve. For example, if you want to be a writer, you start seeing yourself as a writer, someone who writes every day, no matter what. You are not just trying to write, you are a writer. It is a subtle shift in mindset, but it has profound implications. When you align your identity with your actions, procrastination loses its grip. It is no longer a question of whether you feel like doing something or not. It is about who you are. This is a powerful way to bypass the child part of your brain that is always looking for excuses to avoid discomfort. It is like saying, no, this is not up for debate. This is who I am. This is what I do. Now, what about those days when you just do not feel motivated? We all have them. Motivation is not a constant. It ebbs and flows, and that is perfectly okay. Expecting to be motivated all the time is unrealistic and sets you up for disappointment. Instead, learn to accept demotivation as a normal part of the process. It is like the weather. Some days are sunny, some days are cloudy. You do not try to control the weather. You learn to adapt to it. The key is to have a plan for those days when your motivation is low. This is where your strategies like baby steps and the 2-minute rule become even more important. On days when you do not feel like doing anything, rely on your systems, not your feelings. Remind yourself that action often precedes motivation. Sometimes you just need to start, even if you do not feel like it, and the motivation will follow. And this brings us to another crucial point: self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. You are not a machine. You are a human being with ups and downs, strengths and weaknesses. There will be days when you slip up, when you procrastinate, when you do not meet your own expectations. It is okay. Do not beat yourself up about it. Self-criticism only fuels the fire of procrastination. Instead, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend who is struggling. Acknowledge your feelings, forgive yourself, and gently guide yourself back on track. Now, let us talk about control. One of the biggest sources of stress and anxiety is the feeling of not being in control. We often worry about things that are outside of our control. The outcome of a project, other people's opinions, the future in general. This is a recipe for procrastination. When you feel like you are not in control, the child part of your brain panics and wants to avoid the situation altogether. The solution? Focus on what you can control, your actions. You cannot control the results, but you can control the effort you put in. You cannot control other people's reactions, but you can control how you respond. This is what we call focusing on your internal locus of control. It is about taking responsibility for your own actions and choices. This is incredibly empowering. When you focus on what you can control, you feel a sense of agency, of power. This, in turn, reduces anxiety and makes it easier to take action. Think of it this way: imagine you are a sailor navigating a ship. You cannot control the wind or the waves, but you can control the sails and the rudder. You can adjust your course based on the conditions. This is what it means to focus on your internal locus of control. You are not a passive victim of circumstance. You are an active participant in your own life. Now let us talk about consistency. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns effort into results. It is about showing up day after day, even when you do not feel like it, especially when you do not feel like it. Consistency is what builds momentum. It is like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it is small and slow, but as it keeps rolling, it gets bigger and faster. The same is true for your efforts. Every time you take action, even a small one, you are adding to the snowball. You are building momentum. And here is the beautiful thing about momentum. It feeds on itself. The more you do, the more you want to do. The more you achieve, the more motivated you become. This is the positive cycle of action, result, and motivation. But consistency is not just about doing. It is also about changing the way your brain perceives rewards. As we discussed earlier, our brains are wired to seek immediate gratification. This is why procrastination is so tempting. It offers instant relief from discomfort, even if it is only temporary. We need to rewire our brains to associate pleasure and reward with the challenging activities that lead to long-term success. This is where the concept of reprogramming your reward system comes in. It is a gradual process, but it is incredibly powerful. By consistently rewarding yourself for taking action on difficult tasks, you are essentially retraining your brain. You are teaching it that there is pleasure to be found in the process, not just in the outcome. This is how you transform your relationship with challenging tasks. Instead of seeing them as something to be avoided, you start seeing them as opportunities for growth and reward. Think of it like training a muscle. At first, it is difficult and uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the stronger the muscle becomes. The same is true for your brain. The more you practice these strategies, the easier it becomes to overcome procrastination and internal resistance. You are essentially building new neural pathways, creating new habits of thought and action. So let us go back to that initial question. Have you ever found yourself staring at a blank page, an overflowing inbox, or a daunting task, feeling that strange force pulling you away? Now you know what that force is. It is not laziness, it is not a lack of willpower. It is your brain trying to protect you in its own misguided way. But now you also know how to overcome it. You have the tools, the strategies, and the understanding to break free from the grip of procrastination. You know about baby steps, the 2-minute rule, immediate rewards, focusing on the process, aligning your identity with your actions, accepting demotivation, practicing self-compassion, focusing on your internal locus of control and the power of consistency. This is not just about getting things done. It is about transforming your life. It is about becoming the person you want to be, achieving your goals, and living a more fulfilling life. It is a journey, and it is not always easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But now you are equipped with the knowledge and the tools to navigate those challenges. Remember, it is not about being perfect. It is about making progress. Every small step you take is a victory. Every time you choose action over avoidance, you are strengthening your willpower, rewiring your brain, and building a better future for yourself. And that, my friend, is a journey worth taking. What do you say? Are you ready to take that first step? You have the power within you. The time to act is now, not later, not tomorrow, but right now. Embrace the challenge, embrace the journey, and embrace the incredible potential that lies within you. The path to your goals starts with a single step. Take that step today.